crazy. Put them in a cage and they're quite fine. They learn how to drink from drinkers fairly quickly. So like I say, I heavily planted this thing with grass sods. And what I found was, if you went in, they would run into the open bit and crouch down. They wanted to see you. They didn't want to hide away. So the more cover I put in, I'm just basically making their cage small. So I gradually took the cover out and just left grass sods in the corners. And every time they nest, it was up against the wire, without fail, never ever anywhere else. And they were devils. They would have a clutch of eggs, and if you went in and thought, oh, there's a nest, it would desert. So if you were feeding the water, and mess around, kind of go like this and try and squint or use a mirror or something, you could not look at that nest or they would desert it. It was crazy. And yet they would always do it up against the front. And in that flight, I had a small flap where I used to feed. And the nest was there. So I put dishes in. You couldn't look at it, nothing like that. But if you looked at that nest, they knew. The eggs would be rolled out. Crazy little things. And again, these will nest in the open. They want to see you. You don't want to hide away. Is this where the chicks are at?
You don't have any sort of clearing out for the duration then,
No, once they go, just leave well alone. Yeah, I used to just put like a deep corner cage, so it's about 2 foot that way around the corner. Just nest on the floor, see, hardly any cover or anything. And this was just, I thought the chicks actually coming out of the nest here. And in the end, you think, well, I've got 7 pairs, and 7 pairs, and you breed them in double breeder, hard seed and water, a finger drawer with egg food, and a couple of pinkies. And you think, like, how come we haven't kept these alive all these years? It's like, it's like so easy. But just, yeah. But definitely emphasise this water thing. It's so different. I know when I'm moving birds, I hate to catch birds and even move stuff around. But again, put them in the new things and just give them a bath straight away and they'll settle down.
Have you ever tried spraying them to provide this sort of relationship with water?
No, I never bothered with sprays.
I started spraying mine now simply because I don't like catching them like you.
Yeah.
And I found that if I sprayed them pretty well before I wanted to get them out of the tank, it was much easier to catch, less stress on me than anybody else. And then I found that they, after a time, they used to sit on the branches,
Yeah.
and you could spray them, and they'd almost say, oh, this is lovely, I'm having a shower.
Yeah.
Seem to react very well.
But birds do adapt very quickly to difference. If they know there isn't a threat. I remember not long ago, a few weeks ago, if you saw it on the news, a bird in a ghost train. There's a
Nested.
yeah, like a face, wasn't it, with a mouth. This thing comes out of the mouth. And it's nested on this. But you see factories, you go to Billingham, the big factories and things, and there's fire alarms and that, and they'll nest on a fire alarm. You know, they get used to things.
Well, they're rooted in the level crossing, did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and mechanism for level crossing it.
Any more questions or anything?
Can I say, have you ever used a spirulina? Have you heard of that?
I know the stuff, yeah, the bacteria and all that, for the protein and
I
everything.
remember Graham Lee told me he bred 60 varieties in 1 year.
Yeah.
In one season. And he was using that, says that is the magic ingredient.
I wouldn't say it was the only thing. It's good high protein. We can get good high protein on lots of things now. It's obviously just, if you can get it, you can use it. Yeah. I don't think it's like a magic formula or anything.
General question, could you say, is there any particular time when they lay their eggs, Waxford? I'm just talking generally on these. I mean, like, you look in a nest and I want to see whether eggs have been laid, and you're looking, you don't know that egg was from yesterday, but looking at midday, for instance, you don't know the eggs from yesterday, and they're going to lay another one that afternoon, or the eggs from that morning. I just think it's crucial sometimes to learn the hatchery and try to work out the time scale. Is there any pattern to
No, you can't. Yeah, first day early on in the morning, but looking at them, you can't tell until, you candle them or something.
Yeah, if you're looking in the afternoon, you're not going to get another egg that day.
I know once I got the first yellow diamond firetails. I was dancing the first ones in the country. I got this bird, fantastic. Sure it was a cock bird, but it wasn't. And it nested, laid an egg, surprisingly, one in the nest, and the next day, I didn't find it was egg bound and it was dead. And then I found an egg in the nest, and that's when I realised it was a hen. I'm not going to lose this. So I scalpeled it up, took the egg out from it, and it hardened up, because it was like rubbery, it hardened up. And I put them in the parsons and hatched them. And it worked. That was worth a try. Don't give up easy. Yeah, it's strange, but yeah, you get odd things happen. Diamond firetails, a couple of times I've had where the beak's opened. I don't know how they've done it. I've come in, there's a bird rolling around on the floor. I picked it up and I can't quite work out what's wrong with it because it just bends over. And what it is, the bottom mandible is caught in the skin of the chest. It's caught so its head's on its chest with its mouth wide open. And twice that's happened. And it took us a while to work out it's like an inside-out bird, you know. Yeah, well, you get some more things. With all birds, you read the books and that, and you can't see all the way violet ears do this, this and this. Every pair is different. Just like human beings, some people like live in cities, some people like to live in the country. They all, you know, basically the same species, but there's a difference.
Howard,
Anything else?
Howard, have you got any views on egg binding? What causes it? What's your theories?
Well, I thought I did, but again, certain birds get me. New Britons are bad for egg binding, but if you read up about New Britons, when they come to breeding season, you'll find them on the beaches in the wild. So picking at the sand and that, so there must be some kind of calcium content you need or something to watch for there. Peter's twin spots. I don't have egg binder with any birds really, but New Britons and Peter's twin spots were the ones that got for me. And Peter's twin spots, I remember getting one given. They were rare at the time. Somebody gave me a hen. There was a guy in Yorkshire, and he was a soft-bill man. And this bird was outside in the neighbourhood. And it would eat fruit and it ate everything, and it was fine and fit. And I brought it home, and straight away they were displaying like mad. I thought, whoa, you know, these are a good pair. Paired them up, straight away, egg bound. And you think, well, you couldn't have gotten a fitter bird, you know, and it had everything. Why? You know,
How do you
I've tried
provide
lots
your
of-
calcium?
Well, you go through the calcium, then you read you've got too much calcium, you know.
Do
rather
you
than-
provide just squigglefish or in the water?
Yeah, I've tried the calcivets and try everything. And, yeah, probably the others.
Regularly though, just
Yeah.
regular. You do it regularly or?
No, I think if you just give a good, really good balanced diet, it's the best thing. But you can go years and years and you get no egg binding, then all of a sudden, some egg binding. It could be the birds. I once had a starfinch had like prolapse. You know, laid the egg and half its innards were hanging out. And again, you had to just carefully tuck them in. Yeah, and it survived in that, you know, you wouldn't have thought so. You know, I just didn't breed from it again. Yeah, it's an odd one, egg binding.
I tended to grate cuttlefish, well, on the fine grater, cuttlefish bones sometimes into the seed. So I had quite a few staff in hens getting egg bound.
Yeah.
That had one since.
Yeah. Well, I remember years and years ago with starfinches, I kept them in a brick-built building. I made a flight. I always knew when they were going to nest because the hens would hang on the bricks and pick away at the cement. And you knew straight away they were going to nest. You know, so the birds themselves know what they need. So I just think if you put crushed eggshells in, put cuttlefish, and the stuff's there, they know better than anybody how much they want. Or, you know, if you dose water all the time, you've got no choice. And I'm not keen on pills and potions, and I think, you know, all this evolution's there for a reason. The birds have an idea what they do, you know what I mean? But,
Has nobody come up with why egg binding occurs, is there?
yeah.
I mean, in the past I've had birds that's laid 2 or 3 eggs and gone egg bound on 4th one.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you think once they've started laying and they're okay, then
That's
they're
it.
alright for a clutch.
Yeah. Or it could be just the metabolism of the bird itself. You know, because like humans, some people need cesareans, some people don't. They could have larger eggs, smaller eggs. You might have a body that doesn't store enough calcium, so they run out after a couple of eggs. You know, like humans, everybody's different. Birds could be the same. It could be just that they just don't have the physical capability of storing calcium.
Tom Lockhart once told me, and it's a long number of years ago, and I know Tom only bred Bengalese, But he had always, in his breeding cages, he's always got a separate dish of paddy rice. And he said he never had any egg binding, and it was paddy rice that did that. Whether it's right, I don't know. But
You can't think what.
you see, you know, you only have Bengalese, so whether it just worked for them.
That's it, yeah. Or it might be just a simple thing. It could be something in paddy rice that makes something else in the body work.
Yeah.
You know, we have all these scientists and what have you, and they can't work it out. So when you do your best, it's. No, not really. Not really. Got a good egg food now. Peter has a good system in that, you know. You just get a good balance of things. I don't think you need all the pills and potions. The best years I ever had breeding birds, I know it was just diamond firetails and parsons and things. I used to have a big shed in the garden and I just penned it off and I went away for a fortnight's holiday, left piles of seed and water, and that's, you come back and there's chicks everywhere. You know, you think that. You know, you can overdo it. You know, the years where I've really had some time and had all the life would go on and you try the latest pills and potions and all the gear. I can't say I've had a great, no difference whatsoever. That's some of the worst years. You know, I find that the secrets for me is just watching the birds and just watching. Do they like a lot of light or a small amount of light? You see, heights of perch is just where they naturally perch.
And you just have an ordinary stick lighting.
Yeah, it was just electronic ballasting. It's just, I think they're about £6 or £6 or £8 for a 6-foot tube. And they're supposed to be 98% equivalent to daylight. That's all you need.
If anyone's interested, I noticed that B&Q now are selling those. I've got a couple of the 2-foot ones. I've changed my lights round because I didn't think they were just down the middle of the shed, and I felt the 2-foot lights again weren't getting enough, so again ones.
Yeah.
I've swapped round at each end and swapped the 2-foot. Well, B&Q are doing those now, and they compare very favourably with the price.
Funny enough, I've just
But
bought 4.
they've got switches as well,
Yeah.
so they're great because for the
Yeah.
winter you don't need a lot of light. You can isolate them, which I haven't got on the other 3
Well, I'm
so.
well into plants and orchids and all kinds of things. And when I go away, because I'm travelling all the time, relying on people to water the plants and all this kind of thing. So I was working on a system for the plants to look after themselves, like a terrarium, vivarium. And I love poison arrow frogs, so I now went to poison arrow frogs. So I've made an experimental one first. And I've probably been on 9 years studying frogs before I even got one. And I've looked at all sorts. I looked at the lighting situation, and again, keeping frogs is the same as birds. Everything you've read about birds, you can just do the same with frogs, basically. You don't feed them seed, of course, but it's the fruit flies and the lynx and deer and the light and all that kind of thing. And I looked at all the lighting systems, and you spend fortunes on lighting systems. That'll do for the plants and that. And B&Q, 2-foot tube, in a plastic holder so they're waterproof, with a switch and electronic ballast, £20 or £18.99. That's all you need. I bought 4 of them, and I put 3 daylight tubes and 1 yellow tube, because the plants like some of the red spectrum as well. So the plants grow well, the frogs are fine. The frogs don't need much, because they live in the bottom of jungles and things, you know. And it's great. You don't have to go to the building, because you read up about all these tubes and the fancy things. And what they put in the advertising sounds great, but the actual real thing, if you get onto the scientists or the people, and I actually go into like Phillips and Osram and ask questions, they tell you themselves, why you're wasting your time. You know, you're wasting your time. It's like the government, you can give the spin and it sounds like the latest thing. But I think if the wavelength's right so the birds can see each other, that's the visual. You know, birds are all bright colours and display for a reason. And I think if you have the wrong light and you can't see this, you're missing a big thing. Because most birds, the big colours changes and the plumage changes in different times of year. And just their strengths in it. Yeah.
Okay, Howard, I don't want to rush you now, but we've got to be out at 1:30, so it's getting a bit close. But
Okay.
you sure you anything else you want to add?
No, I'm just trying to, like I say, I'm kind of just making this up as I go along because I didn't have time to prepare, so I thought I'll just go as I remember through, and if anybody has any questions.
Just before you do wind up, do you think running water is more of a spur than just actual water? Do you think that's
Yeah. Any kind of moving water, it's hypnotic to them, it really is. You try, just leave a tap running or just have something dripping in the corner, and all the cages just stop and they'll just stare at it. It's incredible. And if you videotape the room, and put a little, switch a waterfall, it was just a little aquarium pump, switch the waterfall, come out, leave the video on, and you'll hear sounds and the actions and the birds are just, you can't believe it's your bird.
So access to the whole
Things
time.
like you see in gift shops for use in the house. Going to the sort of mist coming off.
Put in a little fogger. Yeah. It's probably for you.
Damp environment, humidity,
Yeah.
no dead in shop.
But even if you just got, you see all the garden centres, they have these crazy little fountains now with the balls running around and the water trickling. I would even got one of them, just put one of them in your bird room. And you'll find a big difference.
Things mean a lot.
It is just tiny little details. You know, you can go through all the things about diets, heat sources and all this stuff. At the end of the day,